Hello, BookTube. I'm Peg, the book prize addict. Back again here today to start on my new plan of looking at possible Booker contenders and judging them by my 25-point scientific plan of judging, which I've put down in the link below, or how I'm going to do it. I break it into 5 different categories of each book, and each one gets 5 points. So the perfect book would have 25 points. So we'll see. In the past, I did this somewhat last year with the Booker Prize books, and it really helped when I was reading a lot of different books to finally compare them to each other and see which had the top number. So I thought I would start practicing that method today with the books I had talked about yesterday as maybe strong possibilities to be on the list. So here goes. The first one, which I just now finished, is called The Other Americans by Lalami. And I have to say, this is the American cover. The English cover is so much better. You can't see it real well, but it's so much more colorful. I don't know what's wrong with us that we can't get good covers. Anyway, just a little bit. I've decided to talk about the books right away when I finish them. Don't read any other reviews. Don't get any other ideas. Just kind of talk about what I think. And this actually helps me to think about it. Okay, so let's see. The author has a lot of credentials. She had a book called The Moor's Account that was longlisted for the 2015 Booker Award, was in the running for a Pulitzer Prize, and actually won the American Book Award, which I want to say right now, I think this book would be a much better contender for the American Book Award. It's very American, though there are some immigrants and some talk about immigrant situations, but it takes place in the high desert of California, a town called Mojave. It's very distinctive. I'm one of these that kind of wishes the Booker Prize would go back to only books written by non-Americans. I know it doesn't sound very patriotic, but I do think this book would be a great contender, as I said, for the National Book Award. And it's fine it certainly deserves to be on the Booker, but I would think Americans have won so much. I have a feeling it might be time for something else to win. Anyway, let me quickly go through the different categories that I think about and am judging this on. First of all, the plot involves a Moroccan immigrant, an older man, family man who's lived in California for many years, has his own business, who is struck by a car, hit and run, and killed one night. And that happens before the book starts, and it involves his family and other people in that small town. Now, the main character, I would say, is his daughter, Nora, who is a musician in her, I guess, late 20s, lives in a larger town in California, and immediately goes home. And there's just so much to the plot. It's a huge plot. It's the plot between their family. There are two women in the family. She's a musician, somewhat successful, while her sister is a dentist. So you can imagine there's some playoff there on the favoritism of one over the other, and that goes into, and their mother is there, and so Nora's actually going back to the town that she grew up in, and that lends itself to a lot of stories and feelings, and there's some people that she knew in high school that she had a story behind, and that leads to more things. So I'll just say I thought the characters were really well done. One of the telling points I liked about, they have different points of view. The characters, I think there's 5 or 6 different characters that have chapters where they talk, and each becomes very distinctive in my. It became very distinctive in my mind. Some of them were from Moroccan descent, that family, and then some of them had lived in California forever. And one of the things I saw right away, I noticed little things now that I'm looking for things about character. When Nora went to a town meeting, when they were trying to decide if whoever hit her father, if it was murder or accident or, whatever. And she went to a town meeting, it's a small town, in the cafeteria of the little elementary school where she had gone to. And it talks about she sees people that she knew back when. But one of the most telling things I thought was she looked around and she said she remembered the cafeteria as being huge and all kinds of kids and crowds in it. And she got to looking around. It was really quite small and cramped. And that's a very interesting thing. I think most people have noticed when they go back to places where they were young, it always looks smaller. Anyway, so I was trying to do this quickly. Now look, I've already gone on. Okay. So anyway, I'm giving the characters 4 out of the 5. Or maybe I gave them 5. Anyway, I'll talk to you about later a lot, because there were so many characters. They were all distinct. Okay, the plot opened up into a multifaceted plot. It was not only there was some sort of mystery in finding out who had hit her father, how it played out, but there were many subplots of people that she had known in her earlier days, and there's a policeman who was a good, Jeremy, who was a good friend of hers, again becomes a friend, better friend, and their play out. The only thing about the plot, I have to say, I just finished it, and I just read the last 100 pages, and I really kind of felt like the ending would come before it came. It seemed like the arc just kept building rather than kind of go towards an ending. I'm not sure if I think maybe she tacked a little too much story on, but even towards the last 25 pages, she was still going on and opening up plot lines that seemed like that were like they were in the front of the book. I don't know how to explain it exactly, but I would like to know if anybody else kind of felt like. But the ending was really well done. Nobody saw it coming. I certainly didn't see it coming. Really well done. Okay, so I've gone on long enough. I'll just say I gave this a 22 out of 25 out of my 5-point things, and I'm going to get in the habit of just doing short reviews. So I think this distinctly needs to be on the Booker long list, even though it's a very American story. So I would like to hear if anybody else has read it, and I'm on to my next suggestion of Booker books. So be back later. Bye.